we'll get into the entity that connects the guns and the drugs, the banks, which in my opinion shows their partnership with the cartels and the Middle Eastern terrorists.
And that is this HSBC settlement that Loretta Lynch was the lead on in 2012. The investigation found that HSBC had violated many anti-money laundering statutes, processing over $200 million of transactions from Mexican drug cartels and Middle East terrorists. And the settlement was a fine, a significant fine, but a fine. No criminal action, nothing more serious. There is a very credible whistleblower, a former senior vice president, who said folks at HSBC knew what was going on, actively were helping use fake bank accounts to help this happen on behalf of drug cartels and terrorists. That's pretty serious to end up having a resolution with a pure money fine.
Now, British banks are firmly in the spotlight at the moment. Following Barclays' problems in the LIBOR scandal, HSBC is now in trouble after a US investigation into risky practices at the bank. Joining me now is the Wall Street Journal's banking correspondent David Enrich. David, tell us more about this investigation and what happened.
Well, the U.S. Senate has been conducting a year-long investigation of HSBC for suspected money laundering, or helping with money laundering, and what it found is a whole series of seemingly very bad activities by HSBC. In Mexico, for instance, they were ignoring all sorts of warning signs and helping Mexican drug dealers and drug gangs traffic money. In other parts of the world, Iran, the Middle East, there was activity that was spotted with people connected to terrorist organizations. And what this investigation turned up in the Senate is just repeated instances of HSBC officials just not acting on suspicions that were flagged to them by lower-level employees. In some cases, they appear to have taken steps that were aimed to deliberately skirt U.S. rules. It's really bad. Actually, part of what's particularly worrisome, not for the British audience, but for an American audience, is that the U.S. regulator, the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency, was also aware of this and really did nothing about it. So there's an appearance, a bit of a pattern of British banks behaving badly. And we have obviously the Barclays LIBOR scandal, we've got this HSBC stuff. We also have the JP Morgan scandal with the London whale, which is another perception that this is a huge disaster that originated in London. Not sure how fair that is, but that's certainly the perception.
So maybe it's a question for the British government in London.